Do you want to know more about why Christians in America seem so intent on supporting Israel, but it seems overwhelming? Then this video is for you. I'm Robin Whittaker, a biblical scholar, and I'm going to talk about Christian Zionism, with the caveat that that's a long, complex and nuanced topic, and we're going to try and do it in just a couple of minutes. Christian Zionism is a popular idea within evangelical and conservative Christianity, and it comes from a literalistic reading of prophecies in the Bible that talk about the restoration of Israel and the ingathering of Jews. Now, it's clear in the biblical tradition that Israel is depicted as God's chosen people, God's holy land, and there are lots of passages that talk about the people being gathered again or Israel being restored after warfare. For example, Ezekiel 36 and 37 imagines a revived and restored people. But most of that is referring to things that actually happened in the past, not predicting a timeline for the 21st century world. In some versions of this Christian Zionism, Jesus can only return when the Jews are gathered back into the Holy Land. And in others, there actually has to be a Jewish temple rebuilt in Jerusalem for Jesus to come back, because apparently Jesus is dependent on architecture. In the 19th century, a guy called John Nelson Darby developed a system where he thought the Bible talked about human history in dispensations or eras, and that using this system we could figure out where we were in that timeline of gods. John Nelson Darby based this on very selective and literalistic reading of certain passages of Scripture, and when challenged on his interpretation of Scripture, said, "Well, this has been revealed to me by God." It was popularised by Scofield in the Scofield Bible, which was one of the best-selling Bibles amongst evangelicals in the 20th century. And the Scofield Bible added commentary and notes and subheadings into the text that talked about the restoration of Israel, the return of Jesus, the rapture, and other things that added layers of interpretation to the text. It was popularised further for baby boomers in Hal Lindsey's Late Great Planet Earth, and for Gen X in the Left Behind series. If you've never seen the Left Behind movie with Nicolas Cage, it's truly terrible, but worth a laugh watch. Now, this might seem supportive of Israel, but in much of this worldview, Israel is a means to an end. And for some who believe this, the Jews themselves would have to convert to Christianity to be saved when Jesus comes back. So it's not necessarily supportive of Jews per se. It also ignores a whole lot of biblical teaching that talks in more universalist ways about God's love for all people, God's concern for the marginalised, God, the obligation to love your neighbour, and that the meek shall inherit the earth. So the support of Israel means that suffering that's happening in Palestine and Gaza gets ignored. And that is, of course, deeply problematic. The fascinating thing is right now we're seeing a rift within MAGA about support for Israel. So like and follow, because I'm going to break that down in my next video.